I woke up feeling like my body had been crushed under a truck, every muscle aching with a sharp, unrelenting pain. Staring at the unfamiliar ceiling in this lavish penthouse suite, my hands shook as I pulled back the sheets, my face twisting into a mix of shock and horror. The bathroom door swung open, and there he was, Zaid Meadows, the billionaire CEO and obsessive alpha male I'd crossed paths with 2 years ago while working as a bartender with my best friend. His dark romance aura filled the room as he towel-dried his hair, his eyes locking onto mine with that possessive gleam. He was the mafia boss type, known for his ruthless tactics in the business world. And now, thanks to my own father selling me out to appease him, I was trapped in his forced marriage web. My father, desperate to save his failing company, had drugged me and delivered me right into Zaid's penthouse like some sacrificial lamb in this enemies-to-lovers nightmare. Rage boiled inside me as I grabbed a pillow and hurled it at him, screaming about suing him, but Zaid just smirked, his jealousy-fueled obsession making him even more excited. He advanced, his dominant presence overwhelming, as I clutched the torn remnants of my dress, realizing the age gap between us only amplified his grumpy sunshine dynamic. He was the storm, and I was the light he wanted to claim. "You're mine," he growled low, his voice like velvet over steel, pinning me against the headboard with his body, his touch sending shivers down my spine. His lips brushed my ear, his hand stroking my pale cheek, and in that moment, his punishment vibe was clear: touch her and die. He handed me a file, a contract where my father had sold me off for a pittance, complete with photos of my grandmother in her hospital bed, battling cancer. From a young age, after losing my mom, Grandma had raised me, and now her treatments cost a fortune my family couldn't afford anymore. Zaid's offer was cruel revenge: stay with him as his little wife, and he'd cover the best doctors and meds. Refuse, and my dad faced bankruptcy, leaving Grandma to suffer. My hands trembled on the papers, tears welling up. He leaned in closer, his obsessive alpha male energy radiating. "I want to lock you away forever, baby girl, so you're only mine to ruin." But he relented slightly, saying I'd live here, attend the top university in the city, or whatever its American equivalent was, like NYU, and he'd arranged everything in his luxury lifestyle empire. With 8 days left of break, he left me alone in the opulent bedroom, feeling lost. At least this possessive husband hadn't changed my art major. He knew I loved painting from his creepy investigation file on me: blood type, birthday, height, weight, every detail of my life. In 68 days, I'd turned 20, the legal marriage age, and the thought terrified me. I didn't want a lifetime in this marriage of convenience. Hoping he'd tire of me, I dressed in one of the designer outfits he'd filled the closet with. Cartier jewelry, Van Cleef necklaces, all in my style. But my body was marked with his claims, bruises from last night's frenzy, and in a fit of anger, I smashed a concealer bottle, shards scattering across the marble floor of this New York top-floor apartment. The maid, a kind woman in her 40s named Kim, rushed in, cleaning up while chattering about how Zaid, the billionaire CEO, had finally found someone, going crazy when I was sick that morning. She helped me change, but bodyguards blocked my exit. No freedom without his say-so. Furious, I waited all day, and when Zaid returned to his penthouse, he found me fuming on the sofa. Pulling me onto his lap, he buried his face in my neck, his possessive hold tightening as I squirmed. "If you move again, I'll take you right here, good girl." He ordered bath water, and soon we were in the massive tub, his sculpted abs, lean yet powerful, the kind that screamed luxury gym sessions. Pressing against me as he undid my zipper, his dominant hands exploring in a high-H hint of steam-filled play, tearing fabric subtly, his revenge jealousy simmering. He promised I'd see Grandma tomorrow if I behaved, and with her as my weak spot, I softened, letting him wash away the tension in a mix of sweet care and abusive control. The next day, true to his word, he allowed me out, but without his number, I couldn't reach him for Grandma's hospital details. Everyone in the villa denied having it. They were spies in his mafia boss network. So I headed home, only to walk into a nightmare: my father playing mahjong with his mistress, her daughter, who looked like him, and a punk son. They were cozy in our family home, the mistress smug, the daughter snarky about me being the sister. It hit me. Dad had cheated on mom before I was born, fathering these kids while using mom's money to support them. He knelt fake tearing about his true love with the mistress, how mom's cancer and my birth trapped him. I slapped the contract in his face, drawing blood, but he played victim, saying it saved mom's legacy company, and Zaid was a catch, rich, handsome. Stunned, I fled back to Zaid's penthouse, where he lounged on the sofa, legs crossed in his tailored suit, exuding that dark romance vibe. He'd known I'd slipped away from his driver, his eye lines reporting everything. I thought you weren't coming back, little wife. Overwhelmed, tears flowed as I stormed upstairs, but he scooped me up, carrying me to bed in a high-sweet moment turned abusive, his obsessive whispers begging me not to leave. You're mine. Every breath you take belongs to me. His hands roamed possessively, a night of tangled sheets, red rope hints in the red room adjacent, his punishment gentle yet firm, leaving me exhausted. Morning came, and I headed to school, where my best friend dragged me to see the campus hunk, my old crush, a sunny guy who'd been my light in high school. We chatted, him inviting me to the anime club as president, and we grabbed lunch, reminiscing. But at the gate, Zaid's Maybach waited, the driver insisting on safe escort. Back home, Zaid ambushed me from behind, lifting me onto the vanity, his lips claiming mine in a wall-donk frenzy, hands tearing at clothes subtly. Don't want others knowing about us? Too bad, baby girl. He demanded we go public, and after bargaining, I got separate rooms. No touching without permission, but he pushed boundaries in the bathroom, belt in hand for playful punishment, his dominant side emerging in steamy, submissive hints, leaving us breathless on the bed hours later. The next day, Zaid announced us on social media as his girlfriend, sparking a frenzy. Fans heartbroken over their celibate idol, bets on how long I'd last. At school, stares and whispers followed, my dad bombarding calls for dinner with Zaid. My friend teased about snagging the most wanted man in the city. Then Zaid showed up at the gate, towering and mature, pulling me into a French kiss amid gasps. Sorry, couldn't resist my cute girlfriend. In the car, his jealousy exploded over rumors of me and the campus hunk, golden couple, breakfasts all-nighters. Ordinary friends? You ignore me like that? You need me, Adeline, for your mom's company, grandma's meds. Coax me or else. Humbled, I kissed his cheek, promising loyalty, and he deepened it, hands wandering in a car-shaped tease, privacy screen up. The campus hunk messaged about club stuff. We met at a cafe, discussing a contest. He probed if I liked Zaid, but I dodged, agreeing to partner on Saturdays. Unbeknownst, Zaid watched from outside, face darkening. My phone rang, him, furious about class in a cafe. He dragged me to the car, speeding off dangerously. Time to see how other women serve their gold daddies. But really, it was his possessive rage boiling, heading to his private jet for a lesson in Italy's villa, where luxury met his obsessive control. That flight on his private jet was tense, Zaid's grumpy silence filling the cabin as we soared over the Atlantic toward his sprawling Italian estate. Once there, in the grand villa overlooking vineyards, he cornered me in the master suite, his mafia boss intensity peaking. Touch her and die. That's for anyone who looks at you. Hours of high-abuse tension melted into sweet reconciliation, his hands binding lightly with silk from Van Cleef scarves, dominant whispers of good girl echoing in the red room. Back in New York, our penthouse life resumed, jealous spats, revenge plots against my dad's mistress infiltrating the company, and hints of me getting pregnant with his heir, solidifying this forced marriage into something darkly romantic. She's mine. Every inch of her body, every whisper of her name, belongs to me alone. Our enemies to lovers dance continued, Zaid's age gap protectiveness shining in yacht outings, where sea breezes mixed with his possessive holds. One night, after a jealousy-fueled argument over a male classmate, he pulled me into the tour bus, yacht's private cabin, for a punishment session, tearing lace in subtle passion, his obsessive alpha male claiming me as his little wife forever. Mine to ruin, pregnant with my heir, She can't escape this luxury cage I've built. And so our dark romance unfolded, from New York's penthouses to Italian manners, a marriage of convenience turning into eternal obsession.